Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're having a wonderful day like always. I'm continuing with my Michael Jackson discography journey, and we've made it to his fifth studio album from 1979 called Off the Wall. Now, I don't need to be told how significant this album is, not just in Michael Jackson's discography, but in music. In general, I am well aware of the accolades and the praise that this album has received. I've heard of this album multiple times, and I know how significant this album is. Though I haven't listened to it before, I do recall hearing track number 2, Rock With You, before, and there are 10 tracks. The album is 43 minutes. But like always, if I start listening to a song and it sounds familiar, I'll let you guys know. This is considered one of Michael Jackson's best albums of all time, if not his best album by some people, and it's also sold more than 20 million copies worldwide, which makes it one of the best-selling albums of all time. Michael was also only 20 years old when this album was released, so he's no longer the boy child from his first 4 albums. He's growing up, he's no longer a teenager, he is now a man, and I'm so excited. Enough talking, let's just get into the album with track number 1, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough.
I was wondering, if you could keep on because
Yeah! Alrighty, that was track number 1, Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. And yes, this song does sound familiar. I do recall hearing the chorus before. So I do recall hearing this song before. I don't know when, but I really enjoy myself. Pure disco bliss. I was in heaven. I felt like I was at a party. My body just wouldn't stop. It kept moving and dancing, and I had a lot of fun. I already have a cramp, which has never happened before during one of these videos. I've never actually had a cramp after listening to a song. My body just wouldn't stop. It was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. I loved the production on this song. I didn't want the song to stop. It was just over 6 minutes, and it could have kept going on for 10 minutes, and I still would have wanted it to be longer. I would have wanted it to be 12 minutes, 15 minutes, who knows. My body just didn't want to stop dancing. The song was also written by Michael Jackson, which is really nice. So you know what? We're just gonna stop talking and move on to the next track because my body just wants to keep dancing. So let's move on to track number 2, Rock With You. Alrighty, that was track number 2, Rock With You. Wow, I don't remember the last time I heard this song. I have heard it before, but it's been so long, and I'm having so much fun. This is a pure dance album. My body just won't stop moving. It just wants to dance the night away, and I just love it. I'm almost speechless. I almost just don't know what to say. I'm just enjoying myself so much. Now, there were 5 singles off the album. Don't Stop Till You Get Enough was the lead single, and then Rock With You, and then Off the Wall, and then She's Out of My Life, and then Girlfriend, but it says Girlfriend was released as a single only in the UK. And the album was nominated for 2 Grammy Awards at the 1980 Grammy Awards, and Jackson won Best R&B Vocal Performance for Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. And in 2008, the album was inducted into the Grammy Hall of Fame. This is the first time in a very long time where I just want to keep dancing. These songs are just continuously making me want to dance. Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. I don't know if I'll ever get enough. Who knows? By the end of this album, my body will just want to keep dancing and dancing. So now let's move on to track number 3, Workin' Day and Night. Love that part. Okay, that was track number 3, Working Day and Night. I'm having so much fun. This album, I don't know what to say. It's just, I'm just having so much fun that I'm just letting the music possess my body. And this album is a joy to listen to. I feel like I'm at a party and it's just so much fun. These songs are just dance floor anthems, and this whole album so far, 3 tracks in, I mean, this is required dance floor music. I feel like this is one of those albums where any of the songs could have been a single, because this track number 3, could have definitely have been a single. But I also want to comment on his voice because wow, it's almost night and day compared to his prior album, Forever Michael, and now this album, which was released 4 years after Forever Michael. I mean, it's night and day. He sounds so much more confident and liberated and happy, and you could tell that he is enjoyed what he's doing on this album. And he's kind of forging his own path now into greatness, and so you know what? We're just gonna keep the party going with track number 4, Get On the Floor. God help me. Okay, that was track number 4, Get On the Floor. If this song doesn't make you, it doesn't lure you onto the dance floor, I don't know what will. I don't think I've ever listened to an album where each and every one of the songs consistently wants me to dance. It's forcing me to get up off my ass and move my body, and it's almost euphoric. I just don't want to stop. I just want to keep dancing, and I've never really experienced that before listening to an album. Of course, there have been many albums filled with songs that made me want to dance and did get me to dance, but this is much different. It's just, it almost feels wrong to not move your body when you listen to this album. So now let's move on to the next track, track number 5, Off the Wall.
When the world is on your shoulder, gotta straighten up your act and book it down. So tonight, gotta leave that 9 to 5 up on the shelf. Hit it off the wall. Right face open and all off the wall. Must be the party people night and day. Living crazy, that's the only way. Hit it off the wall. Right face open and all off the wall. Gotta let that fool loose deep inside your soul. You're living up tonight. Gotta leave that 9 to 5 up on the shelf.
Okay, that was track number 5, Off the Wall, and this album is just speaking to me. I really like the meaning of the lyrics on this song in particular. In the song, he's saying, "'Cause we're the party people, night and day, living crazy, that's the only way. So tonight, gotta leave that 9 to 5 up on the shelf and just enjoy yourself." This is a very youthful and rebellious song. Live it off the wall. Do what you want to do. There ain't no rules. It's up to you. It's time to come alive and party on right through the night. Don't hide your inhibitions. Gotta let that fool loose deep inside your soul. And then he goes on to say, better do it now before you get too old, because we're the party people night and day. When you listen to the song, it makes you not take life so seriously, and it's essentially telling you to just enjoy your life in the moment. Don't take life too seriously. Let yourself loose on the dance floor. Forget about your crappy 9 to 5 job and just be yourself, be happy, be crazy, dance through the night, and be joyful. He also says life ain't so bad at all, and it really isn't. So many people get stressed out about life, or I should say, everybody gets stressed out about life, and so angry and so frustrated. But at the end of the day, you just need to enjoy yourself once in a while, and life ain't so bad at all when you do. If you take the chance and do it, there ain't no one who's gonna put you down. There's also something very liberating about this album. It really does take away your inhibitions and uncertainties and frustrations, and it just makes you feel good. It's almost like a drug. This album is almost intoxicating, and it's just a very interesting and unique experience. I feel like when I listen to this album, I can be whoever I want to be. So now let's move on to track number 6, Girlfriend. Alrighty, that was track number 6, A Girlfriend, and the production on this album is absolutely beautiful. It's so funky, and I love the beats, and it's just a joy to listen to. This probably isn't my favorite track on the album. I think it might be my least favorite. I don't know, maybe I have to listen to it again, but I still liked listening to it. It says here that it's written by McCartney. It says here that the album features songwriting contributions from Stevie Wonder, Paul McCartney, Rod Temperton, and Tom Baylor, and David Foster. And Jackson himself penned 3 of the tracks as well. So now let's move on to track number 7, She's Out of My Life.
She's out of my life. She's out of my life. I was so careful, now the way that it stands. So I've learned that love's not possession. She's out of my
Alrighty, that was track number 7, She's Out of My Life, and I wasn't expecting this song to touch me as much as it did. And the story in the song is so heartbreaking yet beautiful, and the way he sings it, it just breaks my heart, and it's just, I have no words. The way that Michael sang the song, you'd think he wrote it. It was written by Tom Baylor, and I've learned that love won't wait. Now I've learned that love needs expression, but I've learned too late, and she's out of my life. She's out of my life. Damned indecision and cursed pride kept my love for her locked deep inside, and it cuts like a knife. She's out of my life. It does say here that the song is about a painful breakup, and for some people, it just doesn't have to be about a relationship in the sense that you're dating someone. It could also mean something else to each and every person. It could be about a family member, perhaps. It could be about a best friend. It could be about anyone. I feel like anyone who listens to this song, they're gonna relate to it differently. It's just a very meaningful song. So now let's move on to track number 8, I Can't Help It.
looking in my mirror, took me by surprise. Can't help it if I wanted to, I wouldn't help it even if I could. Bringing sparkles to your eyes. I can't help it if I wanted to, I wouldn't help it even if I could. I can't help it if I wanted to, I wouldn't help it even if I could.
Alrighty, that was track number 8, I Can't Help It, and I can't help but love everything about this album, and this was another great song, but I found it difficult to focus on the song because She's Out of My Life was still fresh in my mind, and I kept thinking about that song as I was listening to this one. But I really, really enjoyed this track, I Can't Help It. I've loved each and every one of the songs so far on the album. The only song I'm a little indifferent to is track number 6, Girlfriend. I think I have to go back to that song and listen to it again, but other than that, I'm just simply in love with this album. And this song was also co-written by Stevie Wonder, which is great. He says, looking in the mirror took me by surprise. I can't help but see you running often through my mind. Helpless like a baby, sensual disguise. I can't help but love you. It's getting better all the time. I can't help it if I wanted to. I wouldn't help it even if I could. The more I read the lyrics to this song, and the more I think about it, and the more I listen to the chorus, the more I fall in love with it, and I just love this album. So now let's move on to track number 9, It's the Falling in Love.
It's the falling in love that's making me high. Like anybody I ever knew, but that don't mean that I don't know where we are. It's the falling in love that's making me high. Though I'm trying not to look in your eyes, I'd rather leave the fantasy of what might be. Makes me cry.
Okay, and that was track number 9. It's the Falling in Love, and this was another great song I really liked. And this second half of the album is definitely more relationship focused. It's about falling in love and breakups and all that nasty, happy stuff that comes with being in a relationship with someone. The ups and downs, the crying and laughing, breaking up, falling in love, getting back together. I will also say that a lot of musicians and artists of today have been inspired by Michael Jackson and his music, but one artist who comes to mind who stands out is, you know who I'm gonna say, Bruno Mars. And I'm just thinking back to a lot of Bruno Mars's singles. I don't think I've ever listened to a Bruno Mars album in full, but a lot of his songs, I imagine, have been inspired by Michael Jackson. He even kind of sounds like him. And I imagine Michael Jackson was a big influence on Bruno Mars. So we have come to the end of the album, unfortunately. Track number 10, Burn This Disco Out. Alrighty, that was track number 10 of Burn This Disco Out, and this was a great song, just like the rest of the album. It got me dancing, and it's a great way to wrap up the album, but I am sad because I don't want this album to end. I almost wish there was an Off the Wall part 2 because I'm not ready to be done with this album. I wanted to keep going, and Burn This Disco Out was a great way to wrap up Off the Wall, in my opinion. It definitely ends the album on a high note, and you walk away feeling fulfilled and happy and like you actually accomplished something, even though you really didn't because all you were doing was dancing. But I feel like I went on an experience listening to this album from beginning to end. And I can walk away from this album knowing that I really enjoyed myself. So that is all 10 tracks of Off the Wall by Michael Jackson. And I mean, I've said this multiple times already throughout the video, but I loved this album so much. I really enjoyed myself, and it was a total blast, and my body wouldn't stop moving throughout the majority of the album. In particular, the first half. I mean, it was dance central. It was a dance floor central, and I couldn't get enough of it. And then we slowed things down just a little bit with the second half of the album, which was a nice turn. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting there to be ballads on this album for whatever reason. I was just expecting, up-tempo songs. She's Out of My Life was really emotional for me to listen to, and it's probably one of my favorite tracks off the album. What am I saying? It is one of my favorite tracks off the album. I loved the overall production of the album. It was a disco bliss. It was so groovy. I loved the beats and his voice. I mean, the things he was doing with his voice, I mean, this is classic Michael Jackson, and it's great. He sounds great, and I'm just so happy for him that he was able to accomplish what he did on this album, especially coming off of his prior 4 albums. He really was able to branch out and become his own man and do his own thing, and you could just tell on this album, I mean, it just reeks of confidence and wanting to do his own thing and being himself, and it's a great album. I could definitely see myself listening to this album for years to come, for decades to come. I feel like this will be a regular album I will go back to whenever I want to let loose on the dance floor. I am a little surprised that I haven't heard any of these songs before except for Rock With You, and I do recall hearing Don't Stop Till You Get Enough. I don't remember when, but the chorus was familiar, but In terms of the other songs, I mean, I'm a little surprised that I've never heard them before. You'd think I'd hear them at I don't know, a club or a bar or on the radio or somewhere on TV, but it's just really weird because these songs are so great that it's just weird that I haven't heard most of them before. Or maybe I did, but I just can't remember. I don't know. So what did you guys think of the album and which songs on the album are your favorites? And who knows, maybe you're watching this video and you were around and alive when this album was released back in 1979. So what was that like when Michael Jackson burst onto the scene with his off the wall album, this child star from the Jackson 5 and his prior 4 solo albums, and now he released an album like this? What was that like? But this is just the tip of the iceberg. We still have a long way to go on this Michael Jackson discography journey, and I imagine really great things are still to come. And in 1981, 2 years later, he released a compilation album called One Day in Your Life. And then in 1982, E.T. the Extraterrestrial, the movie directed by Steven Spielberg, was released, and the album was narrated by Michael Jackson, which I didn't know. And then in the same year, 1982, he released his 6th studio album, Thriller, which I will be listening to next Friday. The best-selling album of all time, Thriller by Michael Jackson. Now, I have heard a few songs off that album. Of course, I've heard the singles. I think I've only heard 3 or 4 songs off that album. I've heard Billie Jean, Beat It, Wanna Be Starting Something, and Thriller, and I think that's it. I think I might have heard The Girl Is Mine, but I'm not sure. But anyway, look out for that video, and thanks for watching, guys. You can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Twitter, you can message me, you can tell me other artists I should check out. I'm open to any artists from any decade. You can find me on Apple Music, you can check out my playlist, and so on and so forth. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.